The Iroquois laugh when you talk to them of obedience to kings, for they cannot reconcile the idea of submission with the dignity of man. Each individual is a sovereign in his own mind, and as he conceives he derives his freedom from the Creator alone, he cannot be induced to acknowledge any other power. John Long, fur trader.
The Europeans, their point of view on our people is that we didn't really exist as a people, as a structured people until they came. You know, but really, when you research back into our history, you're going to find that we were already structured and with governments intact, and our whole way of life was already intact.
The oldest democracy in North America was created by 5 Indian nations in what is today New York State: the Onondaga, Oneida, Mohawk, Seneca, and Cayuga. Together they became known as the Iroquois. They called themselves the Haudenosaunee. The Haudenosaunee Confederacy was born in a violent era centuries before the French and Indian War. At that time, a vicious cycle of war and revenge was running out of control among the 5 nations. In the midst of the chaos, a visionary man from the Huron nation appeared. Rather than a war club and arrows, he carried teachings. He would be known as the Peacemaker. The Peacemaker proposed a set of laws by which people and nations could live in peace and unity. A system of self-rule guided by moral principles known as the Great Law.
In all your acts, self-interest shall be cast away. Look and listen for the welfare of the whole people, and have always in view not only the present, but also the coming generations, the unborn of the future nation.
When the great Peacemaker designed the Confederacy and its laws, he brought together 5 warring nations into one heart, one body, one mind, and he symbolized it by using 5 arrows when he bound it together to make it a strong union. He said when you pull one arrow out, it's easily broken. He broke one in half in front of them just to show them. And so he told them, he said, if you all stick together in union, then you will never be broken.
The first wampum belt was created to symbolize the Great Law. The image embodied the dream that became a reality. 5 nations, independent, but joined together as one. The Great Law was both a set of moral teachings and a concrete plan for a democratic union built around the social structures of the nations. Each nation had long been organized into clans, which served as extended families. Clans lived together in longhouses, which were owned by the women of the clans. Up to 200 feet in length, longhouses sheltered as many as a dozen families, with private areas and shared fires. They were a place of security, a warm refuge against harsh winters. Clan membership passed from mother to child. When a child came of age, they would marry into another clan. In this way, the entire nation was woven into one greater family. From this clan structure, the Haudenosaunee built a representative democracy. The women of each clan would appoint one man as clan chief. In this way, leadership would rise through trust rather than conquest. The clan chiefs of each of the 5 nations gathered at the Haudenosaunee capital of Onondaga to form the Grand Council. Governing from the heart of their territory, the Grand Council envisioned all 5 nations as sheltered by a giant longhouse stretching 250 miles. The Longhouse's central aisle was the Haudenosaunee Trail, the principal line of communication between the members of the League. The eastern door of the domain was guarded by the Mohawk. The Seneca watched the door to the west, and the Onondaga were the center, the keepers of the fire. The Democratic Confederacy, envisioned by the peacemaker, preserved peace for centuries.
When the Europeans arrived in the territory of the Haudenosaunee in the early 1600s, the process or protocol that the peacemaker had given to us was in place. So we were able to deal with those Europeans on a political basis.
In 1754, Benjamin Franklin attended a conference with the Haudenosaunee in Albany, New York. He came away inspired by the successful model of independent states united under one rule of law. Soon after, he would propose a similar union of colonies. 22 years later, these United States would declare their independence from England. In that year, 1776, events swirled toward the American Revolution. 10,000 strong and strategically located between the colonies and the British in Canada, the Haudenosaunee were seen as a key to victory. British and American diplomats met repeatedly with representatives of the Grand Council, trying to pull the Indian nations to their side. But the Grand Council, guided by the principles of peace laid down by the Great Law, declared their neutrality.